here from the blog, Homestead.com, and today I'm going to share with you what we eat in a week. It'll be 8 fall cozy recipes. So before we get started, I wanted to make sure you knew that this is a candid video. Every single night for a whole week, honestly, I took a video of what we ate for dinner and what I made. So that means that a lot of the times the lighting may not be perfect, the angles may not be perfect. I may even misspeak when it comes to the recipe because quite honestly, I'm just trying to get dinner on the table. I will have a free downloadable on my blog at Homestead.com, and it will be called Wholesome Fall Dinner Recipes. It'll be on the blog. It's a free download. It'll have all the recipes to the meals I'm making this week, and you can just print it off and learn to cook from it all season long. I wanted to take this video right at the start of the fall season when I was getting all of the butternut squashes and the meat stews going. So I wanted to share what we ate every day for a week, and I actually lost count, and this is 8 days, not 7. So you're gonna get a bonus meal as well. So come join me for a week in my kitchen as I cook dinner for my husband and I with enough to have leftovers the next day. So tonight I am going to make a spaghetti squash pasta with homemade meatballs and a red sauce. They are so good, and I'm gonna put the recipe on my blog. It's really easy. You can make it with ground beef or lamb or pork, whatever you have on hand. So if you've never made spaghetti squash before, you just start by cutting open your spaghetti squash. You just scoop out all the seeds on the inside. You just set them both on a parchment paper lined baking sheet, drizzle olive oil and some salt and pepper, and then you bake at 350 for about 30 minutes. So to make meatballs, you have to have some kind of thickening agent. So I use an egg and I use a loaf of, or rather a slice of sourdough bread. So I just take my grass-fed beef and then I add the breadcrumbs, an egg, my fresh herbs, about a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon or so of Worcestershire sauce. I like to add a drop of oregano essential oil. Really good health benefits doing this. It's immune boosting and it also adds nice flavor, especially if you don't have fresh herbs on hand like oregano. About a half teaspoon of salt, pepper, and then about a half a cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. Then you're just going to combine all of that with your hands. And I'm just going to roll these into little meatballs and bake at 425 degrees for 12 minutes. Gonna make a salad. We always have a salad with dinner, and it's even better when the leaves come from our own garden. Okay, so today I'm gonna make a lot of pizza because it is Sunday and we're gonna have a little football game party, so we're gonna have parents come over. So I'm gonna make pizza. So for the crust, I just combined 1 cup sourdough starter, 2.5 cups flour, 1/2 cup of water, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And I put that in my blender with a dough hook, and that makes enough dough for 2 pizzas. So I think for this day I doubled it to make 4 pizzas. I also decided to do Instant Pot chicken wings. It's really easy. I just first marinated all the chicken wings in this Korean barbecue sauce, which is our favorite. We eat it all the time. I get it from Amazon. I'll link it below. And then I just put them in the Instant Pot and cook them. It's really easy. Then for the pizza, I decided to do 2 types of pizza. One with a salami, asparagus, and mushroom. And the other one with apple, brie cheese, olives, and honey and nuts. I kind of made this recipe up on the spot, but I will include it in the ebook if you want to download it and get all of the details. had full intentions of making a really nice butternut squash soup in the Instant Pot and doing a beef roast, but the Instant Pot is currently being used for yogurt and the pot roast was still frozen. Tried to make it work and de-thaw it, and then I realized it just wasn't gonna happen tonight, so I'm gonna do that meal tomorrow. So tonight I had to kind of think of something else. I do think you can de-thaw chicken quite quickly, so we're gonna do a just simple barbecue chicken and asparagus. Not super interesting, but it's a really fast, easy, and healthy meal. So we're gonna do barbecue chicken with asparagus and just sourdough bread on the side, and of course I'll have a salad too. Whenever I'm trying to de-thaw chicken, I just put it in a bag with some olive oil and some barbecue sauce, and I leave it on the counter for however many hours it takes to de-thaw. And if I'm in a big hurry, I will put it in a bowl of warm water and just keep running the warm water so that way it thaws out. Unfortunately, I forgot to take a picture of this meal before we ate it, but as you can see, it was really good. So today I'm going to make the pot roast that I was telling you about yesterday that I wanted to make but I couldn't because the Instant Pot was being used and the pot roast was still frozen, which is never a good idea to cook your pot roast still frozen. I've tried it. Even in the Instant Pot, you just don't want to mess with nice cuts of beef. First, I'm going to sear the onion and the carrots in the Dutch oven. I'll be removing those, and then I'm going to sear the steak on all sides for about a minute. This is just to get that texture. Then I'll be putting it in the Dutch oven with the bone broth. Then I will add them all to the Dutch oven, keeping the scraps and the bits of the meat that were remaining on the bottom. I'll add my bone broth, and then I'll add the garlic and the herbs, and then I'm just gonna stick this in the oven. Then for the butternut squash soup, I first roast a butternut squash with onion and garlic in the oven. So I just cut open a butternut squash, take out the seeds and skin it, chop it up into pieces and roast it in the oven, and I throw in a whole onion and a whole head of garlic with the top just chopped off, and I roast those in the oven together. Then I add them both to the Instant Pot and I blend them with an immersion blender. This is my favorite way to make soup. It tastes so good. Okay, so for tonight's meal, we're gonna make a beef stew in the Instant Pot. This is my first beef stew that I've made of the year, which is exciting because it's mid-September right now, and usually we have beef stew and roasts and all that stuff for fall and winter, and then by February, we're very tired of it. So I'm excited to get the first one out today. This is a really great recipe to use your beef. We actually get a quarter cow from a local farmer, and so he cuts up the beef into stew chunks for us, so that's what I'm going to be using in this recipe today. So I'm just going to cut up potato and onion. So I turn the Instant Pot on saute mode, and I just drizzle some olive oil in the Instant Pot on saute mode, add in my vegetables. Now this is stew meat that is frozen, but it's already pre-cut into stew-like chunks, and I find that you can cook this in the Instant Pot if it's frozen. It comes out fantastic. I also add some carrots. I'm just chopping up whatever carrots I happen to have in the fridge. I'm gonna add some of this really nice sweet cherry vinegar that we got in Eastern Washington on a trip, I believe, but any vinegar will do. And some Dijon mustard, and some red wine, which is perfect because we're actually drinking red wine tonight. And the rest is real simple. I just basically add some salt, pepper, herbs, and bone broth, key ingredient, which was frozen. so it's gonna look kind of funny. And then I'm just gonna put my lid on the Instant Pot and let this pressure cook. So today I'm making roasted chicken dinner. This is something that we make all the time on the weeknights. In fact, I think I make it every week. It's one of my favorite things to make because it's filling, it's healthy, it's a one-pot meal. So you put everything in the pot, put it in the oven, and then you serve from the pot onto your plate. So it's very little effort. And it takes 90 minutes to bake, and I love that 90 minutes because I can go work out, go for a walk, we can do housework, we can do work, whatever we need to get done in the day, we still have that 90 minutes. So the prep time is very short, and then the cook time is long. So it's like I get extra time in my night. I don't know if I really do, but obviously I don't really. It just feels like it. So this is one of my favorite meals to make. I do have the recipe, full recipe on the blog at theduvallhomestead.com/roasted chicken. Very simple. I just take a whole chicken, about 4.5 pounds, and I put it in a large baking dish. And I love to throw in whatever vegetables I have on hand, really, but my favorites are potatoes and carrots, and then whole heads of garlic. I'll just put the garlic in whole, pretty much, without even cutting it up. And then I drizzle lemon on there, and I pour a bunch of bone broth all over the vegetables and on the chicken. And I season the chicken with salt and pepper and olive oil, and of course herbs. This is delicious if you have fresh herbs, especially from the garden. And I'll add carrots and really whatever vegetables I have on hand. I've done Brussels sprouts before, that's been good. Potatoes and carrots are usually my go-to. And then in the cavity of the chicken, I'll add herbs and a half a lemon and a clove of garlic again. And then my finishing touch with this is a big tablespoon or so of butter right on top of the chicken. I do this right before it goes in the oven, and it just melts all over the chicken, and it's really good. Okay, so today I'm going to make I call them sweet potato boats, which is basically a sweet potato that's cut open, and then you fill it with whatever you have on hand. So I'm gonna do ground beef and onion and garlic and herbs, and I'll probably add some vegetable, but I honestly don't know what I have on hand. Maybe mushrooms or carrots, and then I will cook the beef on the stove, and almost like you're making tacos, but you're putting them in a sweet potato. I also like this recipe because I can put the sweet potato in the oven. I cook it for about 90 minutes at 350, and again, that gives me a chance to go work out, and that's exactly what I'm gonna go do. If you can't tell by these videos, doing evening exercise is really important to both John and I, and right now he is in the garage doing a bike, and he likes to turn on the projector. We have a projector that we put out there on the garage door, which started during COVID, and it's been a really great thing, and he will put on a movie, and then he'll just bike and watch a movie. So that means I'm probably gonna go upstairs and do a little workout upstairs, which is fine. So that's what I'm gonna do tonight, and it should turn out pretty well. So I think what I'm gonna do for this is actually make it like a Taco Tuesday kind of thing, and use the sweet potato as a taco shell, and I can make a guac because I just bought some avocados and they're nice and ripe. So I can just make that up for the guac. I usually just do 2 avocados that are really ripe, and then I squeeze lime juice, chop up onion and garlic, and I even add extra garlic powder, and then tomatoes if you have them. I happen to have one, so I got lucky, and we have some in the garden, so I guess I could always use those too. But if you don't have fresh tomatoes, you can also just do tomato sauce, like a little bit of pasta sauce, or a little bit of salsa. And the guac really does it for me. I feel like that's my favorite part of a taco is the guac, so I'm really excited to make this tonight. I also have sourdough bread that is in the oven right now. I usually make at least 1 loaf per week for us, and so that'll be coming out. I always like to have bread on hand, and it's nice to have sourdough bread because it's long fermented, so it's not like the processed bread that you buy at the store. Instead, the grains have been fermenting, so they're a lot easier to digest, and it's much healthier for you too because I know exactly what the ingredients are because I made it. And I do have a recipe for that on my blog at theduvallhomestead.com. I'll link it below this video. All right, so tonight I'm going to be making a chicken stir fry. I figure It's the kind of thing that is warming, and it's been very cold here lately. And it's also very easy, and I actually was at the store last weekend, a different grocery store, because we were visiting my parents, and so we went to the store over there, and they had chicken that was pre-cut for stir fry. So that was really nice, and I figured I'll buy it and give that a try. We don't make stir fry a whole lot, but it is tasty and it's nice to change things up. I don't know about you, but I'll get on a tangent where I'll make the same thing every single week, and then a few months go by and we're really sick of it. So I try to change things up. So I just add salt, pepper, ginger, turmeric, paprika. I'd love to add essential oils in my cooking, so I'm going to add some lemongrass to the stir fry and some teriyaki sauce. Of course, we always make a salad with dinner, so I'll have a salad too. So for the rice, I just put a cup of rice in the Instant Pot and a cup of bone broth in there, equal parts. Seal the top and press the rice button. It's so easy and comes out great every single time. Is a week's plus 1 day worth of warm, cozy fall meals. Write in the comments below what recipe you're looking forward to trying, and make sure you grab the ebook, which will have all of the recipes. You can just print it out and make these delicious meals for your family for dinner this fall. If you're brand new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Every week I post new farm-to-table recipes and homemade natural living from my homestead in Duvall. Thank you so much for stopping by at the Duvall Homestead.